order. You can see I'm here, Councilmember Evans here, Councilmember Watson is here. Reports and presentations, personnel update. Chuck.
I'm going to turn it over to Shawnee, our
Shawnee.
HR generalist.
Thanks. Okay,
Awesome.
I also have copies if anyone wants an extra. Okay, wonderful. I didn't realize there were so many people, so go ahead and take one and pass it around. Justin, if you'd like one.
Is this
have
it?
them.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck emailed it out. Yeah.
Yes, perfect. Okay. So basically, there's a few updates as of the current openings, just saying we are moving forward with interviews. So HR manager, the IT position, as well as the one police vacancy that we have. All of those have schedules for end of June. Separations, the only new one since last month that has been added is Donna Klinger. She may have been on the last one. It's a known separation, moving out of state. New hires, nothing new currently, except we are working on 2 seasonal employees. They have conditionals out, and then we are hoping to fill about 3 more after that. Promotions, Eric Howe, he completed the necessary requirements to promote to a public works maintenance worker 2. He's been here 7 years, so that's a promotion we're glad we were able to make. And then Casey Ronning also completed the certifications to 2, which I need to separations, Kevin, he was a recent hire as a building inspector. He was also in the running for another city, and he knew some people there and decided that for him and his family, it'd be better suited to move there. So he hired, and then after about a week or less, I don't recall exactly, he let us know he'd be separating, and so he did. Kelsey Ludwig was also a known separation. You may have seen or may not have in the last staffing update that was sent a week ago. She decided to move on as well. So that's our staffing updates currently.
Thank you.
And if I might, I just add, we do have HR manager interviews scheduled for Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I think previously Chuck had mentioned we had 23 applications, 6 of which met the minimum qualifications. 1 has dropped out, and we're interviewing 4.
We are interviewing 4, 2 dropped out. Yep, they were hired elsewhere, both of them.
And then I guess just to piggyback on what the chief said at the public safety meeting, in particular with the separations or the retirements we saw in public works. Well, those were long tenured employees, and as I'm sure you can appreciate, have high lead balances. So some of those positions we will have to, drag a little while before we can fill them. So. And that's something that we'll continue to see as people retire and move on, and when they have these leave cap delay when we can backfill those.
So we have 3 for sure June 30th in Public Works. And then we have another expected in June that is giving us our date soon. And then another expected probably July. All of these are Public Works except one's Public Services at the side. So that's going to be a huge impact.
That was my concern too, with the summer coming up and everything happening.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then we expect some next year, not as many potentially at the same time, but.
So with holding off on getting new people in to replace those people, like what kind of time frame are we looking at?
Well, the 2 in Public Works, talking to Sherry, the cash outs will be upwards of 5 months.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Losing that many people in one deal. How are we looking to be able to move forward through the summer, right?
Ryan can speak to
so what it is that we're looking at doing, where Steve Willidson's position is concerned, is that we are going to be putting on an interim basis up to assistant super. He'll, as part of the current CBA, earn 5% out of class pay. He can be in that position up to 6 months, which should get us to the point where then we can then move. It does still mean that we're 1 person down now who was normally out in the field, but there's really no way. We're limited. But we've got all of our FTEs filled. There's no option to bring in someone new to fill in for that. So we just make do with what we got. We certainly will be asking on the public works side that people exercise maybe a little bit more patience than normal, as we're just going to struggle through it. I mean, we've known this is coming, and there's more. So
So Sherry, these are liabilities, obviously. This isn't set up for a separate account. This all hits the general fund as a,
Well,
No,
depending on
we used to
what overall
budget for it.
right, yeah, but they're general fund or whatever.
Well, they're enterprise funds, so.
Yeah. But it's not we don't set aside like an ER&R type thing for retirement type liabilities. Okay.
We did in the past couple budgets, but we have gotten to the point where there was not extra money, so we did not budget for those last year
Can we just tell that
or
to the
last
employee?
budget.
Sorry.
Yeah, because I've never seen this been a problem before until this year.
Right.
No, it has
Yeah.
been.
Has it?
Yeah, I mean, it has been when we've had those long tenured employees that have high leave balance.
This many.
Yeah, that's
year.
right.
And,
Yeah, this is
and we expect more next year, not more than this, but
Yeah,
continue.
additional.
Yeah.
Has Dana given a time frame yet?
He's also June 30th.
He is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did I not?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He's on there.
He's on there.
And I've
Yeah.
talked to him too,
Yeah.
yeah.
about halfway down.
Our only somewhat of a wild card is Al Young. We know. And if I could,
And not-
really quickly,
Sorry.
sorry, Sherry, I just wanted to publicly say thank you to Shawnee. She did an amazing job going back to Eric Howe. I don't know if you recall, he was actually on our list to be leaving the city, go to a neighboring city. And in the space of 2 days, Shawnee was able to work with the union and sort through some hurdles that were creating the issue that was going to help move him along to another jurisdiction. And he really wanted to stay. If we could sort it out, we were able to. And so now you see that he has promoted a maintenance worker too, and he'll be staying with us. So
That's excellent. Good job.
she
That's
did
great.
amazing work to make that happen. So I just wanted to say thank you.
It was a team effort and only happened because of a candid conversation. So
I don't know, I've ever seen an unresignation email.
Nice.
It's always a
Yeah.
first for everything.
Yeah.
Sorry about what I said
Yeah,
earlier.
you need to qualify.
Those candid conversations.
And not all, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Sherry.
The owl's cutting it out. Not all of the hires will be delayed. I think we've worked through a couple of them that we can hire on fairly. I think Dana was one of them, right, Brian? We worked through that one and another one. Both will be able to be eligible to hire almost immediately. There's a couple that won't. Engineer, obviously, that's the biggie.
Third Saturday in September.
You'll have to run that past him. I don't know. He sounded pretty serious about just getting out.
BBL was a volunteer.
Yeah, maybe you want to volunteer.
It is, but he
Right.
gets paid.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's my biggest concern since I'm in charge of this year.
Ah.
Again.
Nice. Anything else?
No.
You guys good? Okay. Thank you.
Good job.
Moving on to business and action items, planning and building division. Man,
Yes, so just a quick little bit of background information before we have the conversation. It's just important to note as we go into this, all are on the same page as far as what is currently approved for staffing and planning and building. So currently, not including Jason's position, planning and building has budgeted for and is approved for 5 FTEs. And the reason that's important is because we're kind of playing a shell game here a little bit with our different positions in order to really best prepare for what we know is coming from future needs. You know, what's going to come down the pipe and how we need to best be prepared to handle it. So rewind back to November 2021, Jason and I moved forward. We came to finance and moved forward a memo that basically stated that we wanted to take the existing structure of planning and building, which was at the time a senior building inspector / building official and 2 building inspectors, ones on the building side, and an associate planner and an assistant planner / code enforcement officer on the planning side. And we wanted to restructure that a little bit. We wanted to do that for several reasons. One of the big ones was to keep talented employees that we currently had on staff here. Roy Simmons, amazing. So you were able to work with us to allow that to happen. What we ended up doing is we took the senior building inspector / building official position, which was formerly Scott Fielding's position, hired. We separated that, actually, senior building inspector / plans examiner. We took that position and broke it apart. Roy was promoted to senior building inspector. We removed one of our building inspector ones and replaced that with a plans examiner. So now at this point, building is composed of senior building inspector, plans examiner, and a building inspector one. The building inspector one was just recently filled. We're going to begin recruiting on that.
We're already
pending this conversation. And then the senior building inspector, of course, is filled. Plans examiner was one that we were. And on the planning side, we have recently hired Shaylee as our code enforcement officer. We broke apart assistant planner and code enforcement officer. She has filled that position. And of course, we have Mehdi, who is our associate planner. Jason and I have continued to talk about this and realize that coming up, we're going to have some issues as far as having the redundancy we need. Got update to the comp plan coming up. If our associate planner has to leave work for any extended period of time for whatever reason, everything falls on Jason. And it's not something that he can do. He just doesn't have that much time. So where we're at right now with building is we feel like, and in talking with Roy, we're able to handle the current amount of workload with the two positions in that building inspector. So knowing that, what we decided to do was instead of filling a plans examiner position, we would take plans examiner off the table and we would go ahead and fill an assistant planner position, giving redundancy that Jason needs on the planning side for upcoming work and to make sure that he's covered should our associate planner go on leave for some reason. What this has done is essentially not a whole lot from a budget perspective. We're staying within the FTEs we're already approved for, and all positions are remaining at the grades that they were previously. So got a grade 18, and help me out, Jason, how many 15s?
There's right now, if you were just to take off the titles, there's 2 grade 18s, senior inspector, associate planner. Those are the 2 grade 18s, and then there was 3 grade 15 positions approved. Right now, it's code enforcement, plans examiner, building inspector 1, and we want to switch a grade, and an assistant planner is also a grade 15. So we just wanted to, instead of having the plans examiner, do assistant planner, so you would still have 3 grade 15s and 2 grade 18s.
And really this picture on the back that Jason put together, it does a much better job probably than me trying to walk you through it.
It helps a lot.
So basically, the reason we're here tonight is we wanted to run that change past you and ensure that you were still okay with that, knowing that there is no real budget implications. And then it would be on your council agenda tonight for overall approval. And then with that approval, we would begin processing to get those. Now, that was it.
Where does permitting fall in under this?
Permitting is outside of planning and building.
Okay.
It's going to cause any problems in the future now or not? You have to go switch this back? What's in a year from now?
Brian and I have talked about this. We're trying to fill the most emergent needs.
Okay.
Right.
I kept reading back, why are you needing this position?
I
understand why you need it.
Both inspectors can review plans and do inspections. Plans examiners can only do the plan review. And so we have 2 people, we have duplication, we have redundancy. Right now with this on the planning side, there's more work than one associate planner can do, and there's no redundancy. So for any reason Mehdi goes down for any period of time, we have nobody that we could promote, temporarily promote up to the associate planner and have them work out a class. We're just left with a void. And so it's hard to predict what the future needs are, but this is based on immediate, most urgent need.
Is there not contract planning options?
Certainly there is.
I mean, in the event
planning.
that someone's gone, you're not.
I mean, it entails hiring a consultant. So we bring the consultant on board. I just, from a workflow perspective, that ends up costing us a lot more money in the long run because they're having to respond on an on-call basis. We don't know when they will.
Well, I mean, and you guys
Don't
keep talking about.
don't we have a
and
contract with
someone leave
Sumner?
for an
For
extended
planning
period of time.
services? No, not that I'm
I-
aware of.
I thought we
do
had
it
one with-
fire, right?
okay.
Well,
Building.
We currently do for a fire plan reviewer.
Yeah, for a fire planner.
That's in building.
Yeah, a fire plan reviewer, and they're local with them
Inspections.
for building inspections. So we have, and that's the other side of this. We have significant deep redundancies on the building side, where we have no redundancies on the planning.
oh, okay.
Because we
And
have,
that's really the take-home message here, is that should Medi go out for any length of time, planning services won't get done in-house anyways.
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean by contract. Not necessarily just to backfill a shortfall right now, but a long-term 3-month gap or longer, a known.
but it's not just doing the work. It's answering the phone calls when people say, "Hey, what's the setbacks on my property?" So you would have to hire somebody at like 3 times the rate to just sit around the office and answer phone calls and review permits and addressing. And there's
Yeah.
2 sides of this. There's more work than the associate planner can do right now. So we have a bit gap there, and then we also have no redundancy. Whereas on the building side, the two building staff are keeping up with it, and we have the interlocal with Sumner to pull if we need to additional inspection services.
And I think Jason hit the nail on the head. When we
And-
look at public services, one of our big emphases is really improving customer service. And we lose that if we go to consultants. Won't be anybody present who can on phone calls. Meet someone at the counter and
Yeah.
talk to them. And those are absolutely essential that we provide, and that we get, that we get ready, get.
She's real anxious up there.
But that we can be able to provide. Sherry, please.
Sure.
I don't know that anybody's looking this way. I'm like, is anybody even looking this way? Hello, I have something to say. And I know you probably don't remember this, but Jason, when did we bring this forward? Was it like almost 8 or 9 months ago? Their organization used to be what he's proposing now, with the exception of they split off the code enforcement because that was a concern of the council. So they split off the code enforcement. They always had an assistant planner and associate planner. So he's just wanting to go back to what he had. Since it was approved by you guys initially, I said, I can't really allow you to do that. You guys need to then approve it back. So that's essentially what they're asking, is to be approved to go back to what they had.
I mean, and this is your department. It's not costing anything different. It's just.
Yeah, and again, I just
Yeah.
want to reiterate what, Ryan said. I mean, we're not changing the number of FTEs within the division, and it's a grade 15 for a grade 15. There's no budgetary.
As long as it takes care of customer service, always our challenge that way, so that'll help solve that problem too.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Sounds like a great deal.
Let's put on tonight's consent agenda.
Look at that.
That's where Watson.
Let's take care of it.
All right. Any other questions on that?
We're good.
Okay. Open discussion.
Move to adjourn.
Was that the council meeting or the finance?
Right. You good?
Well, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, we're only one short of who's going to be here tonight.
I know it. Don't fall down the stairs going down there. We're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Terry,
We are
the
adjourned.
Mayor did get a hold of you.
He did. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.